to perhaps for some of you is your first subterranean forum. We're a little below here, but not below the radar, I assure you. So welcome to what I think is now the 20th instance where GTAC has hosted a forum like this. Order! Yes. Thank you very much. And so we've been doing this for many years as part of GTAC's mandate, which is partly educational. Now I understand that there may be with us a number of people from regions other than Region 5. Is that the case?
You bet.
Yes? Oh, good. I wonder if our Region 5 members could please give our brothers and sisters a warm welcome. Thank you. I wonder also if our GTAC members could give our brothers and sisters of locals that are not as yet members of GTAC a warm welcome.
We know you're out there.
By the way, this may give you some inspiration to have your local consider joining GTAC. I might tell you that we are an area council that meets regularly, actually the week after the board meets, which is a good time because then we get a fresh board report. And we've been doing this for a long time, since I think 1978. And we were up until about a year or two ago primarily an educational forum and networking. However, we have of late, in perhaps the last 2 years, become much more of an activist forum and have been very much involved in demos, in phone banks, in all sorts of things happening in the region. And I would suggest to you that if you want to get involved more in a regional sense, as opposed to in simply your local, then this may be the very place to do it. And I would suggest that if any of you are interested, you're certainly welcome to contact me or any of our executive afterwards. But I'll just say that for now. Okay, now I believe before I introduce the candidates, which I'm delighted to have with us this evening, I'm going to entertain, I think, just two brief announcements, and I will call on the chair of, the GTAC Chair of Labor Community Relations, Miles. Where's Miles? Is Miles? Oh, good. To in fact, touch on those two events briefly. Miles?
Great, thanks, Bob. We want to take advantage of the fact that we have so many obviously troublemakers together in one room. So encourage you to make some more trouble. There are two important rallies, demonstrations, actions coming up in Toronto that if you're on the GTAC email list, I don't know if Bob mentioned it, we do run an email list where we pump out information about stuff going on, labor events, community, political events going on in Toronto, not just obviously related. And so you probably received an email about both of these if you're on that list. The first is tomorrow at 12 noon. There's a rally that's being held on the front lawn of Queen's Park to support a move to reintroduce an anti-scab law in Ontario. Folks with long memories will remember that the last NDP government did introduce an anti-scab legislation which was repealed almost immediately on Mike Harris's coming to power. So there's a private member's bill that's going to be debated tomorrow at the legislature, and the OFL is encouraging affiliates and members to get out onto the lawn of Queen's Park at 12 noon tomorrow. So not easy for folks who have to be at work somewhere other than right downtown. But if you work in the downtown core, you have flexibility in your day if you can get there for 12 noon. And they're also encouraging folks to come inside to pack the gallery of the legislature as the bill is debated. So if you can make it, it's very important. And I believe you can get information on the Oxford website about it. You can get information on the Oxford website about how to get a ticket to get into the legislature gallery. Apparently you need a ticket now. Who knew? Secondly, if you're, for folks from outside Toronto, you're well aware that we have a new right-wing mayor and city council in Toronto that are doing their best to gut public services. public transit. They have their Toronto Community Housing is in their crosshairs right now. And so labor groups and many important community allies are organizing for a mass rally on Saturday, April the 9th. I've handed out some flyers. There'll be extra copies. We've got a big stack of them up front to grab some to take back to your local afterwards. That's Saturday, April 9th at 1 p.m. at Dundas Square. This is going to be a big one, and if we're lucky, it will kick off the beginnings of some mass resistance to what Rockford wants to do to public services and the working people in Toronto. So if you're a convention delegate, it will be all convenient for you to have the convention wraps up on Saturday. If you're not a convention delegate, well, come to Dundas Square because you'll be there with hundreds of other OPSU members. 1 o'clock, Dundas Square, Saturday, April 9th. It then marches to City Hall. So it needs to be big and powerful and boisterous and colorful, and hopefully we'll see you all there. Thanks very much.
Now then, I should like to rectify a rather important omission, namely at any OPSU event, the statement of respect. So I think in view of the fact that GTAC has a great devotion to human rights, that on this one occasion, perhaps I will read the statement of respect, if that's all right. Whenever OPSU members gather, we welcome all peoples of the world. We will not accept any unwelcoming words, actions, or behaviors against our sisters and brothers. We accord respect to all persons, regardless of a political affiliation, including people of color, women, men, First Nations men and women, Métis or other Aboriginal peoples, members of ethno-racial groups, people with disabilities, gays, lesbians, bisexual, transgender, transsexual peoples, francophones, and all persons whose first language is not English. In our diversity, we will build solidarity as union sisters and brothers. If you believe that you are being harassed or discriminated against, contact the OPSU Equity Unit for immediate assistance, or our Region 5 representative on the PHRC, Donald Wright, or myself, and probably one or two others too. Thank you very much. Before introducing the candidates, I should just like to introduce a personal note. A notice went out to you, and this is why you know about this meeting, I'm sure, asking you to reply to myself or possibly one other, maybe Miles. And for those of you who did, I must apologize if you didn't get a thank you back. I have to tell you that unfortunately my computer went down, and I lost all my data temporarily, and fortunately we recovered it all. But I'm afraid that I was not able to either receive or send emails during that period. So if any of you wondered why, that's why, and I do apologize to you, since it is my practice to respond to each and every email that I get.